think. This is something you and I, if you've been a long time watcher of this podcast, you know I've been singing this song and screaming about this literally for 10 years. Rubio says U.S. will revoke Chinese student visas. It's about damn time. And man, it is just about damn time. This is so long overdue. It is just real simple, folks. It's not even a secret. The Chinese government makes every student spy on us in every country they go to. They don't just use it here, they use it everywhere. They will hurt your family if you don't share the research you're doing at Stanford or Harvard or MIT or whatever with the Chinese Communist Party. It's that simple. And yet we let them do that. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese students. Rubio says U.S. will be revoking Chinese student visas, those with Chinese Communist Party ties or studying in critical fields. That's all of them. All of them. I have a link on the story. There's a link right here that says, read, these are not students. These are Chinese spies at Stanford. And there's another link. Chinese students flew drones over U.S. military bases. We've been covering this. Get them the hell out of here. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Wednesday announced the U.S. states will begin revoking visas for Chinese students. The U.S. will be revoking these visas, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party. He did not disclose any additional details, but it comes a day after the Trump administration also directed U.S. embassies and consulates worldwide to pause student visas of all kinds. Okay? Well, why? Because this comes on top of the, him saying to Harvard, we're going to stop you from having foreign students because they're coming in and protesting against Israel. They're destroying our campuses. They won't let regular students study in the library during finals week because they're protesting the Hamas. And I'm going to address that real soon, what a lie that is. Okay? Stop this nonsense. And I tell you about that New York Times article or email I get, where I said they attacked Musk for maybe being on drugs. Didn't do any good. He's just a bad person, right? And then they went after RFK Jr. Oh, they cited a study that didn't exist. Oh, but by the way, he's right about COVID and they shouldn't give it to kids. And then and the thing about revoking the Chinese visas, in 1950, we threw out a Chinese student who went on to lead the Chinese space program, and Trump's going to do that again. Are you kidding me? They're stealing everything. Look at their new sixth generation fighter jets that are direct copies of our stealth fighters. They're stealing it anyway. And the New York Times is going to say, you can't deport these. They bring $42 billion a year into the U.S. economy. They're stealing hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars of technology. And no one did anything until Trump and Rubio. Do you understand how stupid? It's not just stupid. I go back. For those who watched a long time, if you're new, if you go to wethepeopleconvention.org and you just click on Democrats China, you will find stories of how every Democrat from Feinstein to Pelosi to Booker to all of them to McConnell were bribed by the Chinese to overthrow our country. This wasn't an accident. They didn't let the spy balloon fly over the U.S. by accident. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden got millions of dollars from China. Do you see? We're at war with China. They want to rule the world, and they can't do that unless they destroy us. And they came this freaking close because of Obama and Biden and the left and all the people who lied to you in the news media for your whole bloody life. You doubt me? Okay. I said Patel and Bongino followed up the Bartiromo thing with a couple of interviews. Yeah. Brett Baer was interviewing Kash Patel. He asked him what keeps him up at night. Yeah. Listen to this short clip.
Keeps you up at night?
The CCP, for a whole host of reasons we haven't even talked about, their cyber espionage campaign, what they're doing undersea, what Russia's doing overhead in terms of space, and their cyber intrusion capabilities like Salt Typhoon. They have made wildly successful penetrations into our telecommunications infrastructure. And what they do is they suck up our information, Brett, and this is what keeps me up at night. They're playing the long game. the fentanyl production by the CCP, I firmly believe, is their way of killing tens of thousands of military-aged men and women in the United States of America. They are wiping out generations of Americans that could come here and be an FBI agent.
Do you hear what he's saying? We've been saying that here. This is not, the fentanyl's not like a business proposition. Why is all the materials for fentanyl made in China shipped to Mexico and Canada to be processed by the cartels to come here and kill our children? And no, Kash, it's not tens of thousands. It's hundreds of thousands of military age, mostly men, dead. And we did nothing. And then when Trump says, I'm going to use the Enemies Act to put tariffs on Mexico and Canada to stop the fentanyl from coming in, the leftist commie judges rule, oh, you can't do that. Fentanyl's not a national security. It's not a national security threat. What? What is more a national security threat than your biggest opponent killing hundreds of thousands of your kids every year? 100,000 of your kids every year. Let me be accurate. That's the estimates I've heard. Okay? They're killing our kids. We did nothing to stop them. Joe Biden helped them. What do you think was coming across the border with all those people? Fentanyl, drugs. They're traitors. Everyone involved with this, everyone who took Chinese money needs to be arrested. We need to have prison camps for the traitors. And oh yeah, people go, see, you guys, you're fascist. You want to be dictators. No. I want the rule of law. I want justice to be brought down on those who betrayed our nation and killed our children and destroyed their lives with trans. I'm going to talk about that later. Did everything to blow up our economy. The Green New scam is an anti-capitalist program to stop capitalism by getting rid of cheap fossil fuels. Do you see the picture? Is it coming clear? Those of you who watched me for 15 years, you know this. You understand it. For those of you who are new, understand what this is about, how it all connects. This is big. Stopping the visas. And so, they talked about Trump administration fees, all student visas, to bolster security checks for foreign students. What a concept. We're actually going to check their social media posts before we let them in our country. They just issued a thing to all of our embassies around the world, freeze on all student visas. We want to check them out. What a concept. We would actually check out invaders before they come to our country. This is how broke we are. What a joke we are. But we had to take action now because it was killing our country, literally killing our people. That's why Trump is historic.